You're listening to the Geekscape Network.
Time to fire up the VCR. This one's my favorite. That was gold.
Welcome to Analog Jones and the Tempo Film. I'm Steve.
I'm Matt.
And I'm Ashley.
She's back
I'm back.
for another Star Wars adventure.
You can't have Star Wars without me.
It's true. It's true. It's like it's our thing. There's certain things. There's Alex for Death Wish, and there's Ashley for Star Wars.
Which he is so enthusiastic about continuing that.
Continuing the journey.
Well, I mean, who isn't? I mean,
Sure.
it's a magic thing. So this is the end of the Skywalker trilogy saga. What are we calling this?
I would say this is a trilogy, even though there's been the two other movies that have come out recently, but they're not Skywalker movies. They're separate things.
Well, I mean, it is called Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker.
Confronting fear. It's the destiny of a Jedi. Your destiny.
If this mission fails, it was all for nothing.
We're not alone. Good people will fight if we lead them.
Your journey nears its end.
Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. Tickets available now.
I guess we can break down, like, if you've been living under a rock, guess what? Disney bought Star Wars. like 2012 for $4 jillion dollars. I think, right?
That's science.
Yeah.
That's fact.
It's
You
real
could look it
money,
up.
too. It's real money.
You could look it up.
But what, 2015, I think we had The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which was followed with Rogue One 2016?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So 17 then would be the most controversial film in the Star Wars, like, library.
Last Jedi.
Which I don't understand why it's the most controversial. And I did a whole podcast on it. I should have listened to the podcast of what we talked about. Because I just rewatched the movie. And I'm like, it's not that controversial in my opinion.
I get it.
Yeah, I get it too.
I get why it's controversial, but I don't agree with it. I think it's stupid that people think it's controversial.
Well, it's a movie. So, for one, I'm like, maybe not,
Yeah.
But I get the, like, fanboys who are like, that's not what we thought it should be. It's like, but...
Well, you don't write films and you don't work for studios and
Yeah.
put a lot of time and money and organization into it. You couldn't do that, so...
Well, I don't think Disney put a lot of time and organization in their story.
Two people
like, for
on
these,
the cast,
yeah.
or two people
Yeah.
on the team were, like, really passionate about it,
No,
There's always
I
two
get it.
people.
I think they just walked into it. They're like, Rian Johnson, he is a very intelligent man. He knows what he's doing. Then halfway through, they're like, you're going to do what? Oh, we should have read this.
What did he just recently do?
Knives Out.
Oh, I loved Knives
Oh,
Out.
I haven't seen it.
I love
It's real good.
whodunits.
Yeah.
It's real
I
good.
love whodunits, and the cast is fun. So.
It's real good.
Yeah, who's in that? I forgot.
Everyone. Toni
Yeah, okay.
Collette,
Daniel Craig.
Don Johnson.
Yeah.
Lots of
It
people.
looks very slick.
Oh, the style is cool.
Yeah.
It looks good.
Okay. And then the next right away, I think, was Solo, which was like 5 months afterwards in 2018.
Biggest mistake of like this new crop
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
Star Wars is how rapid.
Right.
We did not need it. Build it up. Like, let us enjoy it. The Solo thing blew my mind. I actually enjoyed Solo.
Yeah. I like the movie.
Unlike a lot of fans of the saga. That's
I like that we
fine.
call them fans, but they don't like anything. Like,
fans of the original.
yeah, I
Star
guess
Wars.
just like purists or whatever.
Because now there's people who are like first introduced to Star Wars and they're enjoying it, but
Yeah.
the biggest mistake was firing back to back to back.
Especially since they had the Christmas release date thing going for so many years. They should have just done it again on Christmas, and then this new one would have come out this Christmas. It would have been... But they rushed it, and they put it out in May, right after Last Jedi, which already had
I honestly think
backfire.
that's why it did so poorly, because of, you said how controversial the second one was, and then you immediately go, hey, here's Han's story, and you're like, you do not want to do that right now. You should have pushed that date.
Yeah, they really should. I don't understand why they didn't push it to like December, like
normal.
Because they didn't have anything then that came out in December, and then we had to wait until this December for this one. So then it was almost like there was like people were the momentum that they had riding for the other years of all the other movies, they almost like deflated themselves. So,
well, and you can tell how much they've destroyed their momentum with just go to the toy aisle.
Oh, yeah.
It's so small. Star Wars has shrunk.
Well, also the advertising for this new one, I didn't see many trailers.
I didn't see any advertising.
I didn't see many posters. I didn't see many TV spots. I mean, I don't really watch TV, but usually I catch them on like Instagram or something like that. I didn't see really any advertising besides like the emails, you know, like
why aren't
the
Happy
e-blasts.
Meals like? Why don't Happy Meals have toys and stuff? You know, when we were kids, like it was everywhere. Pizza Hut and all of those places like had
the movies
branding.
weren't even coming out, and I still remember like Star Wars stuff.
Tie-ins for everything.
Random spin-off characters and little sets and stuff, and we all loved that stuff. And I wasn't even a big Star Wars kid, but I remembered the toys. I think I was more familiar with the toys than the actual series for a long time.
Somewhere George Lucas is having like, of course, I know. Look at my $4 kajillion.
Yes.
Peter Jackson might have a castle of money with his hobbits, but I have an entire planet of money.
Which he's going to escape too soon.
But it was weird. It was absolutely super weird that there wasn't as much, I think it was the Solo thing. Because Last Jedi was pretty pumped. There was a lot of trailers, there was a lot of advertising I saw for that one, there was a lot of hype for that one. After Solo, I just didn't see any Star Wars stuff really anywhere.
Yeah. It was very little. I saw some of it on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
I watch a lot of YouTube channels, but I think you're right. And I don't think people, maybe not people, me. One of the guys at work that were talking was like, oh, you going to see Star Wars? And I'm like, yeah, I'll see it. And he goes, how pumped are you for it? And I go, I was kind of lukewarm. I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'm like, it's too much. It's too much. We got the Mandalorian who's coming out on Disney. It came out
exactly what I was going to talk about. Biggest mistake. Baby Yoda is a moment in our pop culture right now.
Yeah.
Why would you do it right before what you wanted to be the biggest, like, final chapter of the saga of Skywalker? You fucking put Mandalorian, which you know everybody's going to be excited about.
Yeah.
Everyone's talking about it. Why would you plan that like a month before your release? You should have did this the Christmas and then waited a full another year and then hyped it up or in the summer or something like that.
Yeah, that's when you do the 5 months later thing because it's a show. You know, that's when you would do that. But
I feel like Star Wars is like the teenage kid who has all the action figures. Like you go to his house and he's like, oh, I've got them all, or she's got them all. Mm-hmm. And then you're the kid who's like, well, I get like one every 2 months. So like you like enjoy that toy, but like Star Wars kind of feels like the rich kid who's just like, oh, I bought them all at once.
Yeah.
You're like, what's the point? Like, just let me enjoy something for a while, and then I'm like, I'm hungry again.
Have you gotten Disney Plus?
No.
I
haven't even seen Mandalorian.
I have not. I haven't seen anything.
But I've seen Baby Yoda.
I've seen Baby Yoda everywhere, and it is adorable, and I cannot wait. I don't care what the hell happens in that show. I'm just waiting for Baby Yoda.
Yeah,
but I'm gonna just wait. I don't need to jump on Disney Plus. I'm busy. I don't need to focus on that. But I'll wait till Mandalorian's done and then do the week trial and then burn through it.
Yeah, watch all the Star Warses and then cancel it.
Well, Matt and I have talked about this. Like, we watch so much of this junk. Like, I'm surrounded by old analog junk. It's not junk. It's treasure. It's treasure. Mm-hmm. But, humans call it junk.
Human beings call it junk.
Trolls or super nerds, we call it treasures. But, yeah, it's just like, I can't keep up with all these streaming services. I can't keep up with all these shows. There's too many
shows.
I was like, where did all that, like, before when we were in the 80s and 90s, I never felt like I was like overwhelmed.
I felt like I could keep up.
Yeah.
With pop culture or like my particular area of interest of like, comic book movies and B movies and horror movies and action movies. I could keep up. Now I can't keep up with the movies. I can't keep up with TV. Mm-hmm. I can't keep up with all the streaming services. I can't keep up with anything pop culture anymore.
I would say the last thing that was like a pure time of like everybody watching, keeping up with the same things was like, you haven't even seen it. Breaking Bad, like that felt like we were all on the same page except for Matt. And Have you seen Breaking
Yes,
Bad?
Breaking Bad is one of the greatest
shows. I know.
shows,
We're going to watch
period.
it this winter, like, through, so he can, like... He watched the first season and he loved it, but, like...
Yeah, I thought it was great.
Then he has to keep up with everything else, so he can't go back and enjoy stuff.
Yeah. There's just
Since
too
Breaking
much
Bad, because I think Game of Thrones was, like, kind of the thing, but there's too much stuff in between.
Yeah, people fell off of Game of Thrones, too.
Well, Game of Thrones fell off.
Well, yeah, I watched the first 3 seasons, and then the last episode. And guess what? I wasn't confused.
I just watched the last episode so that I could
No, you saw the first and the last.
Oh, that's right. I just watched the first episode and the last episode just so I could be relevant.
I just told him who people were.
I love it. I could see that, and he'd be like, "This is," and he'd be like, "Oh, okay, I got it."
And I'm like, but I don't know what happened in between the 3rd season and now because it seems all the same. So I don't.
Yeah, I understood it.
Someone had sex. We saw a penis, some boobs, a butt.
Yeah.
Someone got stabbed.
Lots of people
probably
got
hung.
stabbed.
Yeah, more sex, more boobs, more
Castration.
butts. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, okay. Back to Star Wars. We could talk Game of Thrones though, eventually. Maybe we should one day. Not like the whole, like just a specific thing of let's react to Matt seeing it, something like that.
Oh, like we should make him watch The Red Wedding. Like maybe just as one off.
Yeah.
Because that's like the most famous episode. I'm sorry, 3, like, how many seasons did it have?
7, 8?
7, and your 3rd season finale is still the most talked about thing.
You kind of fell off. That's what happened. It fell off. That's what. You know what? That's also too why I don't watch shows much because so many of them are so hyped and so loved, and then they all just fall off. Like Walking Dead. Can you imagine if I was still trying to fucking watch Walking Dead?
I've actually heard that Mandalorian is now getting a little boring.
Well, it's only 8 episodes though, so
I don't know.
That's okay.
That
I can keep up with.
If it's
8 seasons, I cannot keep up with.
If it's 8 episodes, it better be entertaining the whole fucking time.
I just think people. Well, we'll get to it when we watch Mandalorian. I just think people have bad attention spans because of being inundated with content, and I think Mandalorian's slower.
Wait, start over. What did you say? Yes. Let's get into spoilers. If you haven't seen it, you should really come back and you should watch it first.
I'm going to speak so harshly on all spoilers. Like,
yes.
I'm going to say literally, we're going to actually
no
act out the film right now.
Yeah, no filter. Beginning to end, there will be spoilers.
I'll get out the lightsabers. All right, here we go. Do you want Princess Leia's lightsaber? Do you want Luke's? Can I have Kylo's?
I really like the style of Princess Leia's. They pulled that bad boy out. I was like, I like the vibe.
I don't know. I kind of liked Rey's at the very end, like the
Rey's
yellow.
Is pretty dope. Yeah.
I was like, a yellow is kind of like the sun because she gives life, and then I go, I've gone too far.
Yeah, you've absolutely gone too far.
That's what I thought about at the end. I thought about that, and then I was like,
she was like planting the seed.
Yeah, and then
that's how it should have ended.
Yeah. That's ours. And Disney's like, well, we'll think about it. And like, oh, this is rejection.
They're just going to make 40 other cuts and release them in theaters.
Yeah,
Yeah,
do whatever the hell you want anyway. Yeah, it's just going to be a bunch of, like, so the 30-year-olds are mad. Turns out the 40-year-old's kind of mad, too. Can we make the kids happy? By the way, my grandma wants to see it. So, and JJ's just like, fuck.
I saw an interview with JJ recently, and he looks, like when
tired.
A president has been in for 8 years, and at the
like
end of the 8 years,
Obama
and they show you the before and the after. Like JJ Abrams is not looking like, he doesn't look bad. He still looks
just not
pretty
as
youthful,
fresh,
but
maybe?
he just looks tired. He just looks like he's been worn down by Star Wars. And I just remember when I was watching a bonus feature on the Star Trek Blu-ray, and he was saying he would, because he's talking about taking the Star Wars approach to Star Trek, and he's like, I would never do a Star Wars movie. He's like, I'm too much of a fan. It would be too much for me.
Damn.
And then so many years later, he's done 2 Star Wars movies and produced another. So he just looks tired.
Yep. I mean, his magic, I'm not saying his magic has run out. His magic to work with Disney seems like he's just like, I can't.
He's just burnt out, I bet. I just bet he is burnt out.
I think that this film, just jumping kind of into it, I think he did a good job, but it felt like the biggest fan, because he is a big fan of Star Wars.
He is a super
and he
fan.
was like, I gotta tie up every fucking thing. And it's a lot. That movie, there's a lot going on in that movie. There's like the beginning starts and I'm like, whoa, holy shit. There's already covered a lot of ground.
Well, I said this when I got out of it. I was like, so Force Awakens resurrected the nostalgia. Mm-hmm. It was a soft reboot. I thought it had a lot of fun stuff in it. I really, really liked Kylo Ren. Rey reminded me way too much of Luke. Where, we can do everything. And I'm like, okay, so you're going to be a magical person. I mean, more than just a Jedi. Mm-hmm. I knew something. I'm like, they're going to make her magical. And then Rian Johnson comes in and goes, that's cute. I'm going to burn this shit down. And he did. And then it pissed everyone off. And it made other people like, yeah, finally, we got something different. Yeah. Instead of the soft reboot. And at first I was like more 75-80% liking it. Now I'm more 50-50 in it. And not because he burnt everything down. Mm-hmm. I just think when I watched that movie now, because I did about 2 weeks ago, I have to fast forward through a lot of it because I was like, don't care,
oh, really?
Don't care.
We watched it and
we watched it right before.
I didn't like the casino, the whole casino thing to me, the racing.
I remembered us talking about the casino scene and like a lot of people being like, that was so dumb, like everything was so bad. I actually told Matt at the end of watching it again, like I actually thought it was a fun, random thing. In my Star Wars mind, it's people who like, for Harry Potter, people who like the Great Hall and like Christmas time and Harry Potter. I like seeing a cantina or I like seeing a bunch of different kinds of worlds.
Yeah, the cantina though moved forward the plot.
Yeah. No, I think it does. They get the coder.
Yeah, they do a lot of stuff, but the needle...
Benicio del Toro.
Yeah. The needle...
Well, they go to get Justin Theroux, and then they which is such a funny cameo.
I know, I loved it. When I last watched it, I finally realized who that was. I was like, wait, what?
Such a funny
but it was a lot of... It reminds me of this movie a few times, too. We're doing a lot of things, but we're barely moving the plot needle, where I was like... It's true. I bet... Like, if you based another movie, it kind of feels like Solo. Like, like they looked at that and I'm like, yeah, I like that casino. I could do that. You remind, like, when I looked at the color palettes in that casino, I was like, that looks like Solo.
Yeah.
I agree with that, actually. It does seem like there's a section of Last Jedi that became Solo.
I feel like they, like, whatever team was conceptualizing, they were like, we're going to enter a new era of Star Wars, but it was smack dab in the middle of the Skywalker trilogy, and they were like, kind of figuring out what to do, and so people didn't like Solo so much. They didn't like that one, so
Jay just kind of pulling it back here with this new one.
I think it's equally. This one is equally safe, and just throws all caution to the wind. They're like, we just got to finish it.
I know. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I felt like this was chaotic and at the same time
comforting.
And very emotional.
Oh, yes.
I liked it. I'm going to tell you, we'll break down because we're just fucking talking here, and I love it.
This is just a general sweep right now. We'll get into more.
We're warming our listeners up.
It's Star Wars.
It's a little foreplay for you.
We're like ADHD for Star Wars right now.
It is. Yeah, I mean, I really am because I just watched it.
Oh, yeah, today.
You two have had a little bit of time, not much, to digest.
We've had like 36 hours.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So,
we saw it at 1:30 a.m.
I know. I can't do it. I thought about taking off work on Friday and going. I couldn't do it.
I mean, actually, I was fine.
The next day was hard. Friday was hard.
The next day was hard. I got a flat tire on the way home, too, at 4 in the morning.
Yeah. So that also.
But you know, Ray could touch it and bring it back.
I know. I was like, where is my girl?
Yeah, and I like Rey's character in this one. This is the first movie I liked Rey's character.
I think they gave her...
Because they gave some meat.
The most airtime, too.
Yeah, I'd have to watch. I don't know.
Because I don't know. I feel like the first one we mainly focus around Finn. The second one...
Actually, I would say it's probably Poe, Finn, Rey for the three, because Finn is in 2 a lot with especially the casino scene. He almost sacrifices himself at the end. Like
2 is more of like a split ensemble kind of situation, because we do have the Poe and Laura Dern.
Yeah,
there's like
I
the
guess,
strife there.
They each
it's
have
a
their
little
own
bit more spread out, but this one is like Rey's movie.
Yeah. There's another part of the last one where I'm like, oh, we're having someone we just met do the ultimate sacrifice. I was like, I like the scene.
Don't make us hate a character and then redeem it in the end, because all along, I'm like,
in 45 minutes,
you gotta give us if she would have just said something to Poe, like, there's so many things that could have fixed it.
Is that character like a perfect, like, little... It's a perfect little present of what this whole thing is. All these Star Wars, I think, is like, I think that character's really good. I think it could have been. It could have been. Like, her sacrifice and everything. But it was so fast. I feel like the same thing with these Star Wars. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing.
She's like...
I felt like I got out of this.
You don't know me. Leia put me in charge.
Yeah.
I'm gonna, like, take over this shit. And Poe's like, what the hell? We gotta do something. And she's like, I'm not doing anything. And then he comes in and he's like, you're not doing anything? We're escaping? Well, there's no explanation. So we're like, this is a coward. We're on Poe's side. So in a way, it's a weird shift because it's through Poe's lens. Maybe Poe is the second story. Because, like... we see all of his interpretations of who she is, and then she's like, I had this plan all along. And then, arguably, like, the best scene in that movie when they light speed through... or best image. It's haunting. It's beautiful. When you saw it on the big
kill the
screen,
sound. It was perfect.
Oh my god! And I'm like, but it makes me mad because I'm like, I wanted to be sad in that.
Well,
moment.
there's also another layer to it that we talked about is that they cast Laura Dern in the part, and we as like film fans, everybody loves Laura Dern. So you love her immediately, then they make you not like her, and they're like, just kidding, you like her. And it's like, well, don't make me not... I was already in, just have me like her. I was already in, I like Laura Dern.
At the end of that movie, I didn't like Poe. I'm like, Poe, shut up.
It's...
At the end of this movie, I was like, Poe, are you the leader? I don't know. I don't really see it. Who's the leader?
There's some moments.
Yeah.
I actually...
I like JJ's Poe.
I love Poe.
Much better.
I like JJ's Poe. I like JJ's Rey.
I think he lost his way in the second one, and I don't think maybe Rian Johnson knew what to do with the character.
I don't think Rian Johnson liked him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he like made him like the whiny brat. And I'm like, he's already an experienced person in the first one, and he has a personality, and then that personality kind of just turns into, I'm getting my way. And then this other one, he's like a full leader, and you could argue that like he had that moment so he could become the leader, but he was a good leader in the first one. Mm-hmm. So we didn't need that storyline for him, I don't think.
Yeah, this just like makes me think.
Correct.
Like, this like small conversation makes me wish. It's because I like J.J. Abrams and I like Rian Johnson. I wish they each did their own thing. Like I wish J.J. did the whole trilogy of this.
You mean you wish someone...
And then Rian Johnson did like another trilogy? Because I like them, both as filmmakers, but I wish...
Ryan Johnson on like the solo train with like...
Right.
Stuff.
Because I think he would do a great job with all that because...
so you wish there was like one leader, with a sight for all of them?
Yeah.
You mean like a real trilogy? Like this is not a trilogy to me. It is. But it's like my friend... right before this on the phone explained this to me perfect. It is like when you're if we all had a piece of paper and I said, we're drawing something from Star Wars. I'll start with the head. Here, you get the body. And then, or I'll give it to you two. You two make the body. And then I get the body back and I go, oh, that's not what I thought. But I'm going to still draw the head, like the feet.
Yeah, I'm going to finish it the way I wanted to.
Yeah, there's no like... It doesn't feel as collaborative.
Right. It's telephone. It's cinematic telephone, which...
I will say, I really did enjoy Last Jedi, but as a whole, it is the weakest.
Well, I don't know if it's the weakest. I just wish there was more cohesiveness, but I can't be mad at it. Because... in the end, it's Star Wars, and I'm happy. You know what I mean? Like, in the end, it's Star Wars, and I'm happy. Yeah. Like, it's not the prequels. I'm good.
Well, I guess because, let's start. We'll slice it into 3. I think we can do that. I'll pretend like we're in a script writing class. So I would say the first stage, immediately lets us know in 10 minutes. This is about Palpatine.
Yes.
He is back.
Random as fuck.
And apparently he has a jar filled with Snokes, which as soon as that passed by, I was like, I watch a lot of shitty sci-fi. This looks like shitty sci-fi.
But they didn't even, like, bring that back at all. It was just a
jar. He just said, like, I made
Snoke.
But, like, you could just say that. You don't.
But it is kind of fun.
No, it is fun. But like, I thought that they were going to rise from the dead and have a fight at the end. I was ready for a weird like a zombie fight or something.
That's the thing. This movie got so weird.
But that's why I kind of like it because it's a little trashy. You know.
Also, I like the beginning is. The beginning is kind of a horror movie, and then pretty much any time Palpatine comes into play or the dark side comes into play, it's really kind of like doing horror movie tropes.
It immediately like starts with the scroll. It says "Back from the Dead," and it's like,
so he's a zombie.
Yeah, and I mean, great for them for just immediately being like, "Hey, this is what's happening," and I'm like, "Okay, good," because I would have maybe been confused for a second.
Well, yeah, I don't know if this was J.J. Abrams' plan the entire time, but I don't think it was.
Yeah, I don't know, because
J.J. Abrams also wasn't supposed to even do this movie.
Yeah.
It was the...
Did he write this one, too?
Yeah, he wrote it and directed it with Argo writer. But it was originally supposed to be the Jurassic World director. But dropped out due to the ever-growing creative differences that happen at Disney.
Well, and I'll say it. I hated Jurassic World. You know that.
Yeah,
and you liked it.
I loved it. But I'm a nostalgia slut, so it worked for me.
No, I want these filmmakers, like you were saying. I want these filmmakers to get off these franchises so we can see their
movie, like
their style and everything. I'm tired of like people having to like
conform to a specific set. Yeah.
Well, thank you for saying what was in my head.
I'm Rey. I'm a Jedi.
Oh my god. That makes so much sense. Like, it really does.
Rian Johnson actually did get to do that. I like when they get to do that, where they have their own body of work. They hop into one franchise movie and then they go back to just their thing. But yeah, J.J. Abrams has kind of been trapped by franchises. Yeah. And his only solo movie, Super 8, is his best movie. So I would love to see him do something that's not a franchise.
Yeah, well, he's got too much magic in him, so that's what everyone wants him.
Yeah. Disney wants to suck the magic
suck the life out of him, which it looks like they are doing.
They might accomplish it finally. I remember when you were young and full of ideas. Not anymore. Welcome to the assembly line of bullshit.
He was like, I'm 80 now. And I'm like, it's been 5 years.
He's like a president. You know how they show him from like year 1 to year 8? And then you're like, oh.
That's what I was saying earlier.
And he did this from 2015 to 2019.
They're prepping the cryogenic chamber or whatever. Or what Disney's in.
Yeah.
They're like, put JJ.
And Michael Jackson, they're like, we know he did some bad things, but he could dance.
But we may need him later.
At one point. Well, it turns out it doesn't matter if you're alive or dead. Disney can use you. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
They're like, Palpatine. That sounds like money.
Yeah.
Tarkin? Carrie Fisher.
Yeah, Carrie Fisher. That's what I was going on. She's in the movie,
and she is no longer with us. And they use deleted scenes to piece her into the movie, and I think it works for the most part. But you could tell they are pieced together.
Yeah, but it's getting to the point now where I'm like, this is getting too good.
It's scary. Yeah. They're not going to need actors.
But that worries the hell out of me.
Have you seen Simone? That's what it is about.
Yeah, it's true. They didn't use the CGI, like, they didn't young her up or anything, or like, CGI her into the movie, because the one scene where they do use the de-aging is my least favorite scene in the entire movie, because it looks fucking terrible.
I don't understand.
Oh, with the random clip where they showed Leia and Luke fighting.
Oh, yeah.
And then I don't need it.
And where she beats Luke, I was like, oh, we're doing this. Like,
why?
Luke is supposed to be... This is another thing that a fanboy, like, not this fanboy, I just looked at it and went, yeah, whatever. Okay, you had Leia winning. But Luke's supposed to be, like, an ultimate fighter, you know what I mean? And she's supposed to be training, and now they're saying she's a better... That's what I took in that, and I go, why do you... I think that seemed like a Rian Johnson move. He just wanted to piss someone off. But this is JJ.
I don't know what that moment was supposed to tell me.
Exactly.
I think it is the one moment in the entire movie that I was like, what the fuck?
No, I think
it's
it was
the one
for...
movie I would cut out. Yeah. Like, it's the one moment in the movie I would cut out.
Was it for the Mary Poppins move? To like show that he was training her.
I think it was honestly like just like this is like maybe the filmmaker in me talking, but like I think it was just so they could show the lightsaber. Because they hadn't really established the lightsaber. So they had to show it in action. So they're like, well, we'll just do a quick 1 minute scene where we show the lightsaber in action. But here's the thing. And I'm like, but it's like, I didn't need it. Like, I understood what it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you could just say, here's Leia's lightsaber.
Yeah. You still just threw it in there anyway. So what I
was ready to accept it, too. I was like, oh, that makes sense. That's Leia's lightsaber. Yes,
money
fine.
they probably spent on a, like, a little snippet that was literally like 4 seconds long, and it just confused me.
Yeah, and it just looked terrible, and it was bad, and it felt shoehorned
my
in.
least favorite part of the
Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree.
Yeah, so back into it, then it really it turns into, I feel like for a good chunk of the movie, it feels like the Poe, Finn, and Chewbacca show.
Oh, I love
So they're like traveling, but it felt like to me, like I feel like there's parts in these last two movies where I'm like, I want to see that movie.
Yes.
But
they could have expanded all of these movies into like 10 movies, and I'd be into it. Like,
I love the trio when they're playing the game with the monster. It's so fun. Like, it just immediately, you start with this really dark Kylo Ren. He's just fucking shit up, trying to get to what is the planet called? I don't even know where all of the Siths.
Yeah. I don't remember what it was called, but I know it sounded like testicle. It did.
Oh, Exicle.
Yeah.
You're right. It does sound like testicle.
Exicle. Yeah. Exicle.
Well, there we go. The Seths are the Seths.
The Seths.
Fuck it. The Seths are from testicle.
Yes.
But that beginning with him just like, especially we just watched Last Jedi. Is that that one? Is that what that's called? I can't even remember anymore. We just watched that, and like the end is so humiliating for him. It's like, hilariously. I love Kylo Ren. I love the character.
I love to hate him.
I love to be frustrated by him. It's just like, God. I know that we all do that in our brains. Like, you just can't make a fucking good decision to save your life.
Yeah, because he's too drawn by like just pain and adrenaline and
that's why
feelings. But he's bubbling over with feelings every time he's on screen. I'm like, you're really good.
Oh yeah,
you are really good. I feel like you brought so much more to this character by just being you made the character.
I loved the opening sequence where he's just silent. He's fighting shit. He's going through. He's fucking shit up. We went and saw it at the Dolby Theater. That theater, I looked at Matt like almost afraid. We were shaking.
Yeah,
like it was so loud and like intense immediately. And I was like, I don't know if I can do this movie because it was so much. And then I also have Kylo Ren being like a badass, and I'm like, my senses were overloaded.
It was sensory overload, but it was actually kind of fun.
I think it was
Star Wars.
Best way to see that movie, especially at 1:30 in the morning, and I'm just shaking nonstop.
Hell yeah!
So we go further on, and they really turn into like we got to find these little magic. I would say pyramids. Like triangle pyramid thingies that can take you to Testicle Land. Just gonna estrical. I don't know what it's called.
That Exicle. It's Exicle. That's amazing you said that, and we were able to get that.
Because that's what I heard. I heard the first time I said it, I was like, that testicle?
Crazy.
Yes.
They're on planet Testicle?
Well, they go to a desert planet, they're looking for something, and then we get, I almost said Apollo Creed. Not Apollo Creed, but we get, Lando Calrissian, which it was fun to see him.
Oh, I was thrilled.
He looks fucking amazing.
He's 80.
He looks fucking amazing for 80. Like,
he's not 80. He's got to be.
He is 80.
I know he is, but he's not 80. I'm not going to believe it.
He's got to be like 70. Like,
he looks so good. And
I'm just going to use a Jedi mind trick. He's not 80.
He sounds great. He looks great. He's moving around. Like, I'm jealous. And I'm worse, and I'm 30.
Well, right when he said, give Leia my love, I was like, oh, nostalgia, you sons of bitches.
I know, and I kind of love that in this film, obviously, like, Leia moves on in like that spiritual sense, like similar to how Luke did, and except
Yoda.
he turned to dust, and then she just kind of laid on a bed for a while, and then she turned to dust. I don't understand that part, but
inconsistencies with how they die. Sure, whatever.
But I mean, like, it kind of got there. But I think it makes it even more like heartwarming that Lando's in this film because of their little connection. I don't know. It's just
it's nice.
Sweet.
It's nice to have him.
It was like a sweet nod to. I don't know. It made me cry.
Yeah, it was. They kept just like bouncing from place to place to place, looking for a knife, so they could actually get into. I believe it was a safe, a Sith bank safe thing in the broke down ship.
get the triangle.
Yeah, to get the triangle. My favorite part is they do all this. They spend 45 minutes of the film. It feels like bouncing place to place, and then they get there. Rey gets it, and then Kylo Ren shows up and goes and smash.
It's like infuriating. I think his character is so wonderfully infuriating in this movie. It's like no matter what you fucking do, you have to be thrown back. Like that's just the trials and tribulations of the hero and shit. But like crammed in such a. You can tell that Rey at the very beginning is just so frustrated with herself and she's terrified of herself. And I'm like, that's actually a great way to have a final movie, to have her be on the brink, because usually the center film is where... But she didn't have a lot of airtime, I feel like, in Last Jedi.
I just want them to bone. I mean, they are constant. I'm like, dude, you guys are fucking constantly... It's just coming out as fighting and arguing.
I never thought it was gonna go... Well, at the end, I don't know who is supposed to be fucking who.
Oh, yes!
In this franchise, they are all, like...
They're all fucking, I think.
It's polyamorous all around. Like, I don't... they kind of set it up, like, Finn and Rey have a relationship. Not a relationship, but a connection. And I'm like, they could easily do that, but then they choose not to.
And at the end...
Rose and Finn... in the second one, and Poe and Rey look at each other.
They had a moment in the last one.
And then at the beginning of this one, Finn and Poe seem to be kind of alluding to the fact that they want to bone Rey. And then Poe is into Carrie Russell randomly for a second, and then at the end...
Yeah, Finn just meets that random girl from the last third of the movie.
Oh, I forgot about her.
That's his coupled up.
Oh, Finn! Yes!
Everybody gets coupled up in this one, which I didn't like.
The woman who was also conveniently a stormtrooper, so like...
Yeah, I was like, we have a connection, and it's like, we only got a half hour left in this movie. Don't be giving me this now.
And then by the time the big finale happens, and the biggest spoiler of all time... Fucking Rey and Kylo, or Ben,
they have a smoochie.
I literally did this with my arms. I was like I was shook. And I was like, I mean, that's what I wanted all along, but they were throwing me everywhere.
Yeah.
And there was nothing like...
Well, even the first movie, I thought that Poe and Finn were going to hook up too, which I would have been all for.
Well, I mean, at the end, Finn's kind of fucking no one. Like, I mean, they're getting into a threesome because they're all like, well, someone's got to fuck.
Yeah, I think at the end,
Yeah, but like, it's like, because Poe gets turned down by Carrie Russell.
That was a very funny look. I love how
when he
even with the helmet on, you could feel the expression. That great acting. I think this movie had great acting.
Well, Kylo, right before he fights, like the Knights of Ren circled around him, when he gets that thing and he goes, he tilts that head, and I'm like, that is great. Like, that is something like even the older, and I can feel people like anger coming up. I feel like I've watched in the last 6 months. I watched the old trilogy. I got through a little bit of the prequels and was like, fuck it.
Just like we all do.
Yeah,
why is it we all watch the first one and we fall asleep during the second one?
And we're like, we're done. We're finished.
Because I can't watch the second one. It is so bad.
It's so bad.
I never want to hear anybody bitch about any of these new ones being the worst because we fucking lived through Attack of the Clones. We slept through Attack of the Clones so many times. We earned this new trilogy.
Yeah, to go back to the fucking, because that is the best part. I was like, this is raw emotion. I go, man, I feel like there's a porno somewhere in this.
Absolutely.
And I think even the mom and dads would have been like, well, someone's got to fuck. How do we have all these people in this universe? No one's fucking.
I mean, in the first series, Luke kisses his sister. Like, we don't even get it, you know? Like, at all during these. So I'm like, okay, we're just ignoring all romantic, but kind of giving options. And I'm like, is this maybe to appeal to everyone to mix and match, choose your own adventure, like, relationship-wise? But then Ben disappears.
Well, and then, He
Jedi's alive.
The only people listening to this are people who have watched it or refuse to watch it, so it doesn't matter.
well, at the beginning too, like there's so much. This story's like, and it's pieced together story. You know, like we got like this feels like a movie. This feels like a movie. When Palpatine just goes, and I have a fleet, and like I was like, wow, that is lazy. because they don't have time. They don't have time. There's too much to do. And then we get farther along in it, and then, we kind of get this, like, okay, so you're dead because you were the spy, whatever your name is, Mr. Really Good Actor.
Donald Gleason. I love him so much. I loved his kind of demise, but I wish he was in it a little bit longer. He's one of my favorite new characters.
His character was so shit on, though, by Rian Johnson, and now JJ, like, it's... I see maybe what you're saying, but, like, he's so goofy in the second one, over the top.
The first one, he is literally Hitler.
Yeah.
And the second one, he's like, beep, 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 beep,
yeah,
like
he's like
banana
comedian.
peel.
Yeah, he's like a comedian.
At the beginning, like, Poe does the whole mama joke on him, and...
It's savage. Like, they're just using him as a punching bag.
Yeah.
And I kind of love it, too. And then this third one, it's like, he's the spy. And they're like, it doesn't even fucking matter.
We're just gonna kill him.
Like, when he just turns around and shoots him, I was like, that's kind of what Rian Johnson did anyway. They're like, now we put Old Yeller out of his misery. Yeah. So that was interesting. So you had... And by that, I mean, I didn't like... I just, like, I don't like what they did with the character. I liked him being the supreme, like...
Oh my god, he was amazing.
Leader, and now it's like... And then what Rian Johnson did to him, JJ couldn't even, like... it's like, it's over.
I actually like, though, like, just overall, that, like, JJ really didn't... Like, a lot of my worry was, like, going to be the massive retconning. And it really wasn't. Like, the only thing they really retconned on was, like, Rey's backstory. But, like... We knew that wasn't it.
Well,
you know what I mean? Like, and so, like, I appreciated the fact that he didn't just, like, say, Last Jedi didn't happen, here's my story. He went with it.
He patched some stuff up. The whole Snoke dying. Now Snoke is, like, apparently Muppets in a lab. Which, if we were in a really bad sci-fi movie, I think would have been beautiful trash. Just beautiful trash. Cause,
why did those Snokes not rise from the dead out of that liquid and have a moment with a Jedi, like... fight and where they would just cut them in half over and over again? I think that would be really fun, but they just like left them in the tube, and I'm a little sad about it.
you wanted to see resurrected Snoke demons?
Yeah, why not? Because I actually really loved in Jedi the whole Snoke sequence, like his demise and everything. I really did love that. So if you have a bunch of them more in a tube, cut them up again. Let's do it.
Well, at one point, like. There's, like, two things we'll talk about. So when we find out that Rey can heal.
Oh, wonderful.
And I was like, okay, you're going to be related to the... I was like, right when that happened, I go, oh, I just figured out this movie. She's going to be related... she's going to be a Sith. She's going to be related to that one that Palpatine talked about that could bring people back to life. And then later on, when they're like, you're a Palpatine, I was like... I was right, but not really. I was like, really? A Palpatine? Is that what? I thought it was curious. I actually, now that I started thinking about it, I kind of like it, but at the same time, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I don't really need it, because, like, I think the second one just, like, really drilled home that, like, you don't have to be of blood. A Jedi can be anyone.
There's a retcon.
No, he said that was the only thing they kind of jumped away from, because they showed the kid who had it.
Yeah, at the end of the last one.
And I think, in a way, you can still see it that way, based on, like, the Jedi is more of, like, a belief in the Force, because they kind of they focus a lot on Finn having, like, a mental connection with Rey, and he's not like technically a Jedi. So it's like he has witnessed the Force, he has experienced the Force, so he can tap into the Force in different ways. So I think that honestly opens up to, like, potential, if they want to do Star Wars, which they will, they're gonna kill it forever, but, like, you can do it however you want, because as long as you have, like, some kind of connection with the Force, you can be whatever. But they do kind of pull it back, because I was like, oh, it's cool, Rey's just a girl, and it's like, no, Palpatine. Which, fine, whatever.
Wait, say Palpatine again?
Palpatine?
No, how you say Palpatine.
Palpatine. It's like saltines.
That's Palpatine now from your voice. It's Palpatine.
And every time they say it in the movie, I'm going to edit my voice. Palpatine.
Oh, so you're going to come out with a special edition.
Absolutely.
Hey, Lucas, I can do it too.
Oh, I've already told Matt that for one of his birthdays, I'm going to re-edit the entire film of The Covenant just to be random as fuck. And I think it's going to be a very fun project for me.
Yeah, I like it. So when she's Jesus now. I knew something was going to be. I honestly thought she was going to raise Vader from the dead to defeat Palpatine.
Yeah, when she was touching the mask for a second, I was like, "Is his head going to come back?" Because it's just like the shell and the helmet.
Well, you know what'd be really fucked up if it was just it was just like Misa, Darth Vader. I've been like, oh no!
Like, don't bring that bitch in here. Did you see that they're gonna have a game show hosted by Jar Jar Binks?
No.
Is that a rumor? I heard that.
I don't know.
That's the first time hearing
it. And everybody was
crazy.
like, literally anybody else. They should have done it with C-3PO. C-3PO is a great game show host.
C-3PO kind of stole the show in certain scenes in this one.
Oh, he was great.
I'm glad that C-3PO really got his due in this movie.
They ignored him in the second.
C-3PO has been one of my favorite characters in the series. I know people are annoyed by him. He's kind of like the Jar Jar of the original series or whatever for some people. But C-3PO has been one of my favorites since childhood. So to see him kind of get a lot in this movie to do was really exciting for me because I love C-3PO.
Well, we gotta talk. The main thing with C-3PO is that he can't decipher what's on this knife that's going to lead them to XYZ. Like, there's so many journeys in this. But they go to that planet and we are introduced to the best character of the movie, Babu Freak.
My favorite character in the movie. My favorite new character, for sure. I
turned and slapped Matt's arm, and he was just delighted.
Like, oh my god. I am obsessed with this character.
Well, and the C-3PO, the funny joke with it, but the first one talks about, this festival happens every 42 years, and they all look at him, and then he looks back. I was like, that made me laugh. I chuckled pretty hard. And then when he's just like, oh, Babu Freak, he's one of my oldest friends because he just got his memory wiped. And I was like,
cute.
Yes!
It's just so heartwarming. I liked seeing C-3PO. I liked seeing BB-8 because I feel like he's not really in the second one either.
Yeah.
They introduce a lot of things and bring back a lot of characters, and the second one just kind of ignored a lot of stuff. And this one, I'm like, I get to see all the droids doing things.
That's what I like about JJ's movies is you get to see the creatures. You get to see the droids. You get to see all that stuff. And that's the stuff that made me fall in love with Star Wars. So, that's why I like JJ's a little bit more because you get to see all that. And Babu Freak's my new favorite. So
they also don't have to make a big deal about every single character or a creature they have because there's a transition shot. They land, I think it was in the desert, that big desert where the festival was. They kind of pan and there's two little creatures sitting in the foreground and you don't see their faces. They're just looking at the thing and it passes and leaves it and I'm like, that's a nice little touch. It makes me feel that this is actually Star Wars and not just humans everywhere.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of these. I felt like The Force Awakens had it though. I feel the world building. Maybe it's just because we're so used to it. But when I watched the original, I mean the actual original, not the special editions BS. But I like Lucas's people, the whole world building of all these creatures around, and I feel like Force Awakens did it. And then Last Jedi, I don't
ignored it.
I mean, they had the casino,
but there actually were mostly humans. At the casino.
Story. It was more story, and I like the world exploring.
Yeah. And I feel like this one got back to it because we had the when he Kylo Ren slaps the head down of the dead alien, which I was like, oh, that's sexy because we've got a mole. I was like, Dad, look at that prop. Yeah, that was real.
Everything looks real. All those little fucking things running around. I'm like, yay!
Because a lot of them are.
Yeah, I know.
They really make those, especially in the J.J. Abrams movies. They really make those things.
I want Star Wars in my brain commits to this is a fantastical world.
Yes.
This is a very complex ecosystem and a bunch of different planets. If I'm going to a bunch of different planets, give me a bunch of different life forms.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think we're all on the same page. Give us more creatures.
Yes.
Yeah, they're awesome. I felt like Solo had a ton of creatures.
Yes, that's why I liked it.
And I don't remember so much of Rogue One. I just like Rogue One's nihilistic look.
Rogue One was more the military version of it, and which was fine because I'm following their mission. Yeah. And it doesn't need to have. It's not about exploring. We already know the plot of it. We're just seeing what happens. Yeah. That film is probably the best of
It's the best of the new ones.
Well, yeah, and it's funny how much I've had this conversation with people because I feel like that too. Mm-hmm. And there's people what? None of those characters are memorable, and I'm like, Oh, wow, really?
What?
Yeah, I've had a lot of opinions that way, and it surprised me because I thought I honestly liked all the characters.
I want to watch that one again because I think it's still. Have I only watched it once? I don't know.
Yeah,
it's one that I could rewatch again.
We only watched that.
Yeah, it's Sarah's favorite.
Yeah, it's great.
I mean,
fantastic.
So, yeah, and then let's go right into the second half. I mean, we get a fight between Rey and Kylo Ren that entire fight was gorgeous.
Amazing. Wait, are you talking about the water?
Yeah,
one?
the gorgeous, just like
wow,
the
also,
violent sea and
right before that, because this movie does go at a neck break speed. It's very
there's a lot
fast.
of shit going on.
It is a lot,
yeah.
and I will say for a movie this long, I didn't feel the runtime because there was something happening.
Yeah.
Every second.
Sure. Yeah.
But we get like their little mental pathway is still happening when she's on the ship and he's on the ground and he doesn't know where she is, and they break it and he sees Darth Vader's helmet. I thought that was just like a cool way of how objects fall into, because even they had a mini tiff in the snow and shattered beads go across. I think it's poetic in a way, but then we get to that big sea fight.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Like bluffs or something. Wow.
Yeah, it was gorgeous.
Wonderfully choreographed. I thought it was so good.
And it's on the decimated Death Star, which is nice too. Nice little touch.
It was funny, watching that. That was the part of the movie where I actually teared up, and it was because I was thinking of my childhood, and part of me was also like, they're killing my childhood. No, but but it was just reminding me of my brothers and cousins and I, all of us fighting and pretending who's a Jedi, who's a Sith, and all that stuff. And I don't know what it was. It just got to me. And then at the end of it, she brings him back to life, which I was like, oh wow, you did. Kind of felt like Leia's death was useless, but it also killed Kylo Ren and brought back Ben, and so I thought that was I mean I really just that entire scene I just thought was the best part, and then we get Han Solo coming back, which shocked me, but I actually thought it was the part nostalgia where I was like, but this makes sense to the plot. You know, I liked Lando Calrissian, and I guess he kind of does make sense to the plot, but he still felt because I was like, yeah, Lando, but at the same time, we don't need Lando at all.
Yeah, but again, it's nice.
Yeah,
it's nice that
it's comforting.
Instead of introducing another random character, do somebody that you know, and especially with Chewie, Chewie knows everybody, and I love him so much. The moment I knew he wasn't dead, allude to him dying, and I thought, again, the acting when Rey screams Chewie, it is piercing, and I was like, they love him so much. Everybody, they just love
everybody
each
loves
other
Chewie
so much. They're so ingrained in the group mentality, which I think it's really great and polarizing when she just goes on her own, and you can see her breaking mentally the whole time. I think Daisy Ridley did a very good job in this movie.
Yeah, this was my favorite. Right,
her performance.
All the good on them when they started putting together this new trilogy. All the cast is really good. I think we've mentioned it in every episode we've talked about. But Adam Driver's great, John Boyega's great, Oscar Isaac is great. Great fucking casting for your new leads. Your people taking over. I
do like that because Harrison Ford came back. I'm glad they gave us at least one movie to breathe without him, because he's killed in the first of this trilogy and we don't see him, and then I call it ghost dad thing, because every superhero movie has a ghost dad on a mountain.
Fucking
but here's
talk
the thing,
to your ghost dad on a cliff. Another fucking movie where they talk to their ghost dad on a cliff. It's one of the banes of my existence, but I like it in this movie.
Star Wars can get away with it because we've always had images of
Force ghosts.
All of the Jedi Masters and stuff.
I'm fine with it here.
And he's not a Force ghost, which I liked, because at one point he goes, I'm just a memory. And he goes, yeah, but I'm your memory, or something. I don't quite remember what it was, but the whole point was
judging Harrison Ford. He's you're just a memory. He's yeah, but I'm your memory, and the reason I'm here is because it's in you.
Yeah,
and
it's
that's what you find fond.
Yeah, dipshit, you are Ben. You became Kylo. Yeah. Now Kylo's dead. And it was kind of you know what you got to do. And I was just oh, what is he talking about? And then he just threw his lightsaber, and I was oh. I was wow, you're just like Luke. When he got the lightsaber at the beginning of The Last Jedi, he goes, tossed it into the sea.
Everybody loves throwing lightsabers
Yeah.
when they
I
get
don't
mad.
need it anymore.
Because guess what? At any point, you can hold your hand out and get it back.
Because you got
Which happens a lot.
Well, and this is one thing, like, when Rey actually grabs the ship when it's taken off, I'm like, finally. Like, they don't use their force powers anywhere near as much any real person would be, I mean, like a fat slob. I'd be like,
But we always say we can't have powers because, like, nothing...
Yeah.
We would do nothing.
Yeah, it's like, I need that. Give me my chips.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I would just nap and then have my body work out.
Yes!
I would be I would be an unbelievable, muscle-bound, ripped, fat slob at the same time. Like,
exactly.
What?
Oh my God.
People would be like, this doesn't make any sense. I know, I force powers.
Jesus. I do love also, like, that Kylo-Rey relationship is so juicy. It's wonderful. And, like, him being like, this Palpatine wants you dead, but I'm not going to kill you because I want you to take my hand. And she's like, I would have taken your hand if you were dead. And it's, like, just this whole, like, affair situation. It's beautiful. I love it. But when she leaves... Oh man, when they're like flipping in the waves and stuff,
it was
they're
awesome.
like beautiful. Yeah, that's what you use the Force for. You jump and flip real high. Why are people not doing this?
Why are people jumping?
Kylo is like moonwalking all over the place in the beginning, and I was like, man, you're a rock star. I love this.
Yeah, and then, like, at one point when she throws her lightsaber in the training and it spins around, I'm like, finally, like, that's what you'd be doing. I'd be like, blink, blink. Do you remember, obviously you remember, what's his name? I just forgot his name, in Guardians of the Galaxy, where he has the arrow that, like, flies through. Yeah. That's what I'd be doing. I'd have, like, a little bit of arrow, like,
yeah.
Like, everyone would be dead. I'd be like, well, this was easy. Crack my knuckles.
Use it.
Yeah.
Use your power. Use the Force. And, like, I think it's also a thing. Rey uses it a lot in this movie, which is awesome, but I think it's because she's like so unstable mentally.
Yeah.
And she like blows up the ship that we think Chewie's on.
Yeah.
I didn't think he was on there. They weren't gonna do it to us like that.
Well, when the shipwrecks and Chewie dies, they all have... This is one nice thing about this, too. They all have their own emotional reactions where they're, like, such different characters. Yeah. So you had Rey, where she's just, like, unstable, like, Chewie! And I was like, oh. And then you got Kylo, who's brooding over there. Like, he's just like, well, fuck, they're dead, you know? And then you look at Finn, he's like, I love you. I love you, Rey.
What was
Come
the
with
thing
me, Rey.
that he wanted to tell her?
That they have a connection. That they have a...
Is that
I think it is. I really
just
think
that they
is.
have a mental pathway?
Well, he has some part of the Force in him that he can like communicate or feel like empathy with her. But I think that's what it is. I think that's
never
what it is.
told you this, and I'm like, it feels so big, and they like never. We did talk about it. I think that is the case, but like. But then they just play on, like, the romance a little bit, and they all joke about it. And he's like, what, when Poe's gone, are you going to, tell her or whatever? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, are you fighting over it? I can't tell. But then Poe immediately was like, hey, old flame.
Yeah.
Like, remember? We hang out.
I think they specifically did that. I also like that she just, like, nah.
Yeah.
I moved on. I got this sweet red suit.
I got this helmet.
Yeah.
This helmet for days.
And it's just like funny because like someone needs, Finn's got his friends. You're like, dude, she's not like you're a friend, and you will always be a friend.
I don't think Finn is like romantically interested in anyone. Like,
oh no, I think he wants to bone.
I don't know.
I didn't get that. I felt more sexual chemistry between him and Poe in the first movie, which, again, I totally would love to have seen, but...
They, basically, when Leia goes on and, like, Poe is going to be commanding general, he's going to lead the fleet into this final battle, like, what is it, the final order?
Yeah.
Like, and I'm like,
the
thank you,
order
JJ, for trying to be like, stop making these movies! Because I'm tired! It's the final order. But that moment where he sees Finn and he's like, hey, Leia just made me general. I want to be co-generals with you. You're my general. And then Finn was going to say something. He was like, wait, can we just say thank you so much? I love you. General.
That's classic Star Wars.
So
that's classic
good.
Star Wars.
Their relationship feels the most like fun Star Wars. Like
I love
that. I would love to have a spin-off like of their adventures.
I think that would be fun. And
good.
it would but a lot of it would be Finn like dreaming about just snuggle. I think he just wants to snuggle with Rey. You know what I mean? He's just like, we don't have to do any of that, but can we just hug? Yeah. Can we just please be close? And I'm like,
they do the fingering thing
because he follows her. He feels like, to me, he feels like he's following Rey around like a puppy, less like an equal. Like I just don't see the equal. Now Poe and Finn, that's total like that's bromance.
Oh, that is the hardest bromance I've seen in a long time. I think.
But do you think it's because it was written by men and a lot of things like they understand bromance and like maybe they don't understand like obviously they understand but maybe they can't like. They couldn't, like, for some reason, it felt like no one really got how to make Rey more human, you know, until this one at points where I was like, yeah, you know, she's a character. I felt like Force Awakens Rey was just like, it reminded me of Luke from the first one where I'm like...
Sure. I'm sure that's what they were trying to do. They want you to, like, feel a similar thing that you felt when you first saw Star Wars. But, like, now she has, like, her own identity. Yeah. But Finn feels like almost like a panicked mother when it comes to Rey. He's like, where is she? Oh my god, I gotta go save her, I gotta go get... Like, I gotta... Because I think it's because he can sense her all the time, and she's constantly in danger. Well, maybe and so he's probably just riddled with anxiety. Yeah. When everyone else, he knows what everyone's doing. She just goes off and does her own thing, and he's like, you gotta let me know, bro. Like, it's so sad. He goes across that sea and, like, witnesses the fight, and she, like, pushes him back. Like, oh, that whole fight is amazing. It's very good. Yeah,
I was like, Finn, you need to, get out of there. No, she did a good thing. And then she looks back, too, to see if he's okay. That was, I could see a dad-daughter, or, like, not even
it's
a dad-daughter. Yeah, thing. It's like a... I don't know. They're part of the same family, same kin.
Yeah, they like care about each other so much, but he like really wants to take care of her, but she's like, I need to do this on my own, and you're definitely gonna get hurt because I'm so powerful.
What if he's got really messed up fantasies, not sex? It's just like snuggling her into his like chest,
cradled like a baby.
Yeah. I need to take care of you.
And she's like, "Let go of me, Dad." And I'm like,
literally, it feels
this like is not the fantasy I thought it would go to.
Oh my god.
So then we get to the end, and I guess Palpatine has all the Sith in him. That, like, to me, I was like, that's a bit much. I get what they're saying. Like, one Sith joins the other one. If someone kills, you get all that. But I thought it was a bit much.
Well, I mean, I guess they're kind of alluding that because when you become a Jedi, like, you have...
all the Jedi within you.
All the Jedi within you, but, like, Jedis are less, like, creepy, so it's not as intense as, like, tubes going into his brain and shit. Like, well, I mean, he's dead, so that's probably why as well. But I really dug that weird final sequence. Like, there's a big Star Wars fight up in here, like up above.
The classic Star Wars fight happening on the sky.
And then below is like this weird dwelling.
Horror movie.
Yeah, it's a horror movie.
Oh, it's straight up a trash sci-fi horror movie.
Yes, and it's gross. Everything's like slimy and...
I'm all about this end sequence.
And even like Palpatine like looks very haunting. It reminds me of like Lord of the Rings, the people in the marshes, like that white eye, like very sallow skin and everything. And I don't know. It's a cool vibe to have, and very different fights. Very different.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, when he like reaches up and first when he strips them of their power, which he's like, now I can do it. I'm healing myself by taking you both. I was like, what? I don't know what this is, but now he's back and he's young, and then they like the Jedis just go, we're in you. And I was like, well, that's... Because immediately my mind just went 13-year-old. And I go,
yeah, gross. Gross. Well, his main goal was to have Rey become, like, the most supreme ruler of all time. Because she has this extra magic in her. Like, she is technically more powerful than him in a way. Because she has, like, the healing, like the death situation. And... when she refuses, that's when he's like, fuck it, I'll do myself. And then he's like, I can kill both of you, because Kylo comes in hot. Like, she drops him the
Yeah, it was awesome.
It's so good. I love that weird... The best thing to come out of, like, that... Was that introduced in Rian Johnson's? The mind pathway?
I believe it was.
So.
Yeah.
That is the best thing that came out of that movie because it made it interesting. Like, they're weird conversations. They can't see each other, but they can kind of see things around them.
Like, Rian Johnson likes time travel and portal
dimension things.
He really likes that stuff.
It worked well, I think. And then this final scene was amazing, in my opinion. I'm sure a lot of Star Wars fans fucking hated it.
Yeah, I just thought it was a bit much. If this was another movie, and I'm kind of with Matt probably, and both of you, but I think if it's a different movie, because I was like, man, this is such great trash, like fun trash. I'm not, and when I say trash, anyone out there should be like, that's not a bad thing, because like, I love it.
Oh, we love trash movies.
Yeah,
like,
it's just like when he was shooting down all the ships, and I was like, okay, that was cool, because I'm like, I feel like, you know, that is what he could do. That is his power. It's never been used, but, you know, finally they, you know, like, let's do this. Let's go all out on that. I mean, we've already got, like, an entire hooded, creepy clan. I don't know what we're calling it.
Chanting in the stands. It was like, it's like a cult. Yeah. It is a giant cult. Cheering on.
Yeah, and then he kind of, the cheesiest part to me comes where then he's like, no, they want you to feel like you're alone. That's what Palpatine wants. And they said it twice, and I'm like, what are we doing here? I felt like this was just so weird.
I don't know. I feel like it's generic in a way like all hero stories are.
Yeah, but a lot of times it's like a bunch of groups coming together because they're all like smashed, and that's what I felt like the original trilogy is like all these rebels are coming together because they're tired of it, but we see them coming together, we see them making plans, and this one is just like let's shoot out a message. It worked, yay! And I'm like, come on.
Well, at the very end, like after they win obviously and everything, and they like go back to their like home base that has been featured in the past 2 movies heavily. That one set they're really hanging on to.
We built this and we're using it.
Yeah, well, all of them go back, and I'm like, I'm sorry, half of you guys are at least dead. There was barely any of you, and then there was a sequence where there were ships blowing up left and right.
Yeah.
And they're all celebrating. They're like, yay, there's so many. And I'm like, no. And most of you guys are dead.
Yeah.
But like the hugs were real. I loved it so much. It felt good.
Man, Chewbacca got the medal.
Got the medal
from the New Hope. That was because he never got a medal in the New Hope.
Precious.
And I was like, that was sneaky good nostalgia.
The Chewie storyline in this also felt satisfying. Yeah. It's like it's like the C-3PO. It's like give them what they're due. Yeah. Like they've been here for so long.
Yeah, that's what he says. Like it was so emotional because I felt like. I like when she at the very end she goes back and Sarah whispers, she's like, oh, is that where she's from? And I go, no, that's Luke.
That's Luke's.
That's Luke. And when she buries the lightsabers, I go, yep, it's that you just buried. And I'm not saying this in a bad thing. I was like, you buried my childhood. It's time to move on.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, the curtain has fallen. I am almost 40 years old. Let go. And I was like, I'm good. I walked out of it. I'll watch it again probably in a year. I probably won't watch this for a long time. I just need it to go. Yeah. And I want new stuff. But I say this all the time. I can't stand the franchise stuff. Just move on.
I think like the superhero world really
ruined franchises. Because I was all in on franchises until Marvel.
Before this movie started, they played the trailer for Black Widow, and I'm like, a movie we asked for 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's already over. Why does it matter? Like, they just want to regurgitate the same thing, and it's like... And then I saw something else. Any Disney movie that was before, if it wasn't a reboot or... something that was a franchise. It was a movie, and their lines were like, a completely new story, because we're all complaining now. Yeah. And they're like, look, it's a new plot. And I'm like, yeah, but you have to make good ones. Like, you can't just be like, this look, it's new.
My brain completely shut off when Bond came on. I was like, I don't care.
Oh my god.
And then
25.
I've never been a fan of Daniel Craig. I will say he was amazing in Knives Out. It was like the first movie
I love seeing him have fun.
Yeah,
because he never has fun.
Bond is the most stale looking thing ever.
You can see how bored Daniel Craig is in Bond. You see it in his face. It's like, you're bored, so I'm bored.
Yeah,
I love when he gets to have fun.
My favorite trailer was that whatever. I think they
Ryan Reynolds one. No,
I didn't see that. No, the time like all they did was did you see it where they go in and it's like there's hostages in like an opera or whatever, and it was awesome. It was just a scene from the movie for like when they 2.5 minutes, and then at the end they had little clips of it, and I was like, I went right to Sarah and I go, best trailer I've seen in years. I want to see that. I don't know what it's about.
Yeah, no, I think the most effective trailers are when they give us like a little bit of sense and then they just like move on.
I miss them.
They're like, okay, great.
I remember Hellraiser 3 had a trailer, and that's not even like a great movie, but it was just a scene for like 45 seconds that they showed in like tapes that I have of the past. I had to see the movie.
Yeah.
Had to, because it was just like a keyhole into the whole thing. And I turn off my head on these trailers that are long. Like Black Widow, I want to see Black Widow. I don't give a shit about that trailer. I don't give a shit about the franchise. It's the only movie I wanted to see was a Black Widow movie, but you're right.
10 years
ago. So late. Yeah. It's like, it does look like a good storyline, but like it should have been a storyline. They didn't think... It just proves that they like did not give a shit about the timelines, the storylines. They just wanted to churn them out, make money. Like they're literally showing us that. They're like, oh well, now we're done, so we're gonna just like go back and like resurrect some characters and like call it a day.
You like David Harbour from Stranger Things? We're gonna make him silly in this, and it's like I don't fucking care. I'm just gonna watch Stranger Things.
Well, I these movies, I don't like. Hellboy came out, and I just finally watched it just to catch up, and I'm like, well, okay. Don't like that. And then I still haven't... Oh, wow. Okay. That's a whole...
that's a whole nother thing. But I didn't think it was as bad.
Yeah, it was not as bad as some people.
It was more neutral.
It was pretty neutral.
No, I don't think it was like...
It was not necessary.
15% bad, but it was just like, I don't care bad. Which... and then we had, with Spider-Man, I've never seen the Homecoming. What is it? I don't even know what it's called.
Far From Home?
Far From Home. I said Homecoming.
Oh, I like the Spider-Man movies.
No, but I don't... Mine is... I haven't seen it.
It's like a good...
I haven't even seen it.
I
don't care.
It's like summer fluff. You go to the movies and you're like, oh, let's watch Spider-Man. Yeah. It's not like... Oh my
it's
God,
not like
Spider-Man.
It's not like Into the Spider-Verse, which fucking ruled, but that wasn't part of anything.
That movie was
it was its own thing. It was just its own little weird animated thing, and I was like, yeah, I'm into that. But then, Spider-Man Far From Home is the 28th fucking Marvel movie or whatever, and they're still talking about Endgame in it, and I'm just like, I'm done with this story.
Oh yeah, there was an animated trailer. Completely, it's gone. I don't even know what it was. Monsters?
We did Onward, right?
Oh, Onward. It was,
which I was like, I'm gonna go pee.
You literally
it started. I saw the Pixar logo and I was like, I'm gonna go take a piss.
He stood up and left the theater, and I was like, that's hilarious. Like, he just doesn't.
The Pixar logo came up, and I was like, I gotta go take a piss. I'm here for Star Wars, not this bullshit.
Like, just to kind of jump back on that final scene, like, because I do think the last moments with Kylo Ren, Ben Solo, and Rey. It's a big deal. I feel like...
Yeah.
I thought for certain... What did I think? That he was going to come and save her. Oh, what did I... Oh, shit. I had a completely different thing. And then the kiss, like, blew my mind for some reason. Well, because of how many, like, romantic things or whatever. But seeing him smile...
Yeah.
Before he, like, faded away... Like, I wanted to bawl my eyes out. I was like, this is the first time he's, like, smiled in the whole series.
Isn't that what Anakin did right before he died? When he,
I don't fucking remember.
I think so, yeah.
It was like, it was so much like in this film. Like, at the very end, I was like, oh, we're having a star fight. The Emperor's in a fight. And I was like, okay.
Is that the final...
Return of the Jedi, yeah.
Return of the Jedi.
Oh, okay, yeah.
When Vader kills the Emperor there, and then Vader dies.
But it is like such a nice moment, though. Like you're just
you need it. It is. You need it. Like
it feels cathartic.
Yeah.
Cathartic.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the word.
Good God. I've been talking about Star Wars too fucking long.
It was. I mean, I this is my whole synopsis. I think we should all do it. I'm glad it's over. I thought this movie was mostly a mess. It hit me a couple of parts and some really... I just think that the story was all over the place. They were shoving so much in there. There was a couple really good emotional parts. I like the emotion back. I think it's hilarious that I'm like, who's fucking who was going through my mind. But at the end of the day, I'm like, this whole trilogy is better than prequels. That's not saying much. Of course, it doesn't touch...
There are a lot of people who are like... This final movie has made me have a new appreciation for the prequels. It's like better, and I'm like, no, you are blind.
You are.
I'm sorry, you just want to bitch about something. If that's the case, like that's such negative.
No,
energy.
it's just
you can tell that these are
bullshit.
competently made films.
Yes.
They're a person with a brain made this, not a random AI from '97. Like literally, that's what those fucking movies were.
Oh,
you have to be out of your mind if you think that any of the prequels are better than any of these movies. I don't know if I can talk to you. I'm like a person who's like, you can have your opinion about any movie, but I'm sorry, those prequels are unwatchable.
Especially two. Especially.
Were like, we're gonna watch them all. I refused and I turned my back to
and then I didn't watch 3 again. I was like, fuck it, I can't even watch the third one. I keep
Have you still not?
I keep leading up to I'm like, I'm gonna watch 1, 2, then 3. And I get to 2 and I'm like, I'm not fucking watching any more of these. I'm just gonna have to watch 3 on its own.
Yeah.
Because that's the only way I'm ever gonna see it.
If I try
That's a lot of pressure on yourself. Like, to watch all 3 of the prequel. I
just watched 1 and part of 2 like 5 times, but you can never.
I can never get through 2.
Like, I'm having a panic attack thinking about watching all 3 of them like right now.
And that is the feeling that makes it certain that if anyone says they are better than these movies is out of their mind.
That second one makes me want to I just want to smash it. I just want to smash it.
Is that the one where, like, that little thing with fucking wings was in the beginning, and I said that I wanted...
No, that's the first one.
That's the first one? I said I wanted to shoot that thing in the face, and I said, no, I want to rip off its wings so it can't fly, and then shoot it in the face. And I'm the least violent person ever. Those movies made me violent.
They elicited a violent reaction within you.
Jesus Christ.
You see what you did, Lucas.
Oh my God. Do you have any following up with your statement? Then you can...
No, I mean, I know you guys... I can see in your faces you disagree with me a little bit with the mess, but I just think it's like... I don't really... I want to say this. Mm-hmm. I like The Last Jedi more than this one.
Okay.
And I have to skip a lot of that. Well, I only have to skip like 2 parts in The Last Jedi. The reason I like The Last Jedi more, and that's not true. I kind of just want to take all the good parts from these 3 movies and make my mind. Because, like, there's
Topher Grace will, because you know he does that.
Yeah.
Topher Grace will cut these together into 1 2-hour movie, because that's what he does. It's his pastime.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the problem with these. Like, I want to, like, just supercut it, and then I feel like, oh, I like this, I like this, I like this, I like this, and then I'm good. But I can't do that with the prequels, because the prequels is like,
there's nothing good there. There's nothing good to take out.
I don't like sand. That's my favorite part, where I'm like, and it hit the lowest part it can. And then, that's it. I just like, can we calm down on these Star Wars? In thought. Done.
Yeah, go for it.
I mean, I'm pretty simple. I loved it because, like, I love Star Wars movies. Obviously outside of the prequels. I'm a kid again every time, but like, yeah, I think Last Jedi sort of prepared me to let the past die, and then this one was like, all right, we're done, it's finished, like kind of, but like at the same time, it felt good, it felt right, it felt epic. I'm glad the movie was weird, like I'm glad it went like down kind of some of the horror roads and the dark stuff that it did. I like J.J. Abrams as a filmmaker. Besides just these things, like I like the stuff he produces, I like the stuff he directs.
Somebody send this to JJ.
I love I'm a huge J.J. Abrams fan. I love everything he does. I'm so sad that like Disney has like sucked the soul out of him. But like I like his work. I like his stuff. I'm gonna watch this one again. I don't know where I rank it or anything like that. It's not my favorite.
It's too early.
Yeah, my favorite is The Force Awakens, I think. And then the best one is Rogue One, I think.
I wasn't counting it.
Yeah, you don't count those because it's not the trilogy.
Yeah, if we're doing
separate.
the trilogy, then I think it's Force Awakens for me. But I don't know where I fall with the other two. I like a lot of stuff in Last Jedi. I like a lot of stuff in this one. But overall, it's a fucking Star Wars movie, and I had a great time, and I loved it. You know, so it's gonna appear probably in my top 10 this year because I just love Star Wars. I love Star Wars, so.
I will randomly say, like, Rogue One reminded me because Rogue One is telling the story and, like, of a past situation, and everybody made fun of, like, how high-tech their stuff was. This one returned, their screens were more analog.
Yeah. This was more like the original.
So I was, like, I was really paying attention, guys. I was, like, really in it. Because if you listen to, like, my first episode on here and watching the Star Wars with you guys, like, I'm a newer I've always known, like, the plots of all the original ones just because of pop culture, and and I didn't see all of them until, like, 5 years ago or something for the very first time.
All of them but episode 3.
And most of episode 2.
I kind of love your hatred for the prequels because you're not a fanboy.
I'm a new person. And I love the original.
Yeah.
I think they're amazing. Like, I had a really fun time, like, as an adult person watching them. And with a fondness, like, I feel like it's nostalgic in my brain because pop culture it was ingrained in me. And so then when I'm watching them, like, oh, I know all of these parts. Like, and because you always said that, like, you were surprised how much I knew about it without seeing any of them. It's just because I don't know. It was always there. It was always around. So this movie, I actually really love. I think it sums it up in a good way because of those fucking prequels. Like, it could have been so bad.
It could have been so much worse, guys.
But, like, I really enjoyed all 3 films leading up. Yeah, there's some wonky bits in it. It's a franchise movie. There's gonna be some stuff that's weird in it. I think that it is a lot in this one. It, like I said, it's a rapid pace, but in a way, it makes it feel urgent. Like, that urgency makes me feel kind of more gripped by the story because my mind didn't wander, like, one time during the movie. Like, I was focused 100%, and it is very hard nowadays with the bullshit they're putting out.
And the fact that every movie is 2.5 hours long. Yeah. That doesn't need to be, like, obviously Star Wars can be 2.5 hours long.
This movie started at 1:30, meaning we had 20 minutes of trailer. 1:50 a.m. to, like, 4:30 or 4:10 in the morning, and I was 100% engaged and excited, and like I said, I had physical reactions. Like, I was blown away by some parts. It was really fun in the adult. I really do think, like, this kind of movie should be seen in a theater because, like, in Last Jedi, that moment where like the ship is split, it's big and it's in your face and it feels like a Star Wars movie. Seeing it for the first time in the theater is special, and like I think all of the fight sequences look amazing on screen, and if you're in the Dolby theater, you're shaking, you're like in it. And so I feel like sensory wise, I thought it was a very fun and enjoyable experience, and I loved the characters and the acting. Oh yeah, and J.J. Abrams was that little droid. Dio, the random droid that they found. It was J.J. Abrams.
Oh yeah, cone droid.
Yeah,
who gives him cute. Like the. I don't. What was it? The weakness of the fleet.
Yeah, and then he was just like, "Hello, no, thank you." He doesn't want to be touched, and I just think it's cute. It's all of the extra little characters. Babu Freak
is my favorite ever.
Yeah, we're getting. You gotta get a shirt.
I gotta get a shirt. I gotta get a shirt. I love Babu Freak.
I don't know. I very much enjoyed it. Fans can tear me apart. I don't give a shit. You bunch of nerds.
No, I mean,
my thing is, if you call yourself fans, you're obviously not a fan if you're just there to shit on it. You know, like and. That's not. I'm not.
And you can dislike it or whatever. Right. But you like having a conversation.
Right. Yeah. I'm not talking about. People can dislike the movie. I'm talking about people that were there to shit on it from the beginning. I'm like, you're not a fan then. Well, you're not a fan. Yeah, you're not a fan. You're there to shit on it.
Yeah. Well, anyone who came into this like, I hate this film, and you haven't seen it.
Yeah.
What's why?
I literally heard people like. I saw people like saying that they heard what the plot was and they hate it. I'm like, you didn't even see the film. You're not giving... A synopsis is not the film. You don't give your, like, mind a chance to connect with characters, situations, the score swelled in beautiful parts. Like, you're not giving yourself the full potential of the film. If you just like read a line, you're like, oh, she's Palpatine's granddaughter. Bullshit. Like, what?
Yeah,
watch the fucking movie, bro.
You're lazy.
Like, you're not even giving it a chance, man.
Well, I mean, I just said, like, I don't like the film as a whole, but there are things in this film
that are
I
cool.
like.
You love that scene. That sequence is dope.
Yeah, like, that's the type of thing where that frustrates me too. Except with the Clone Wars, I can find some. Well, okay, I don't know. The prequels are rough.
I can find stuff I like in Phantom Menace.
I can't. Find
a couple things. There's a couple things I like in Phantom Menace.
Is it Jar Jar Binks?
Yes.
Misa like you too. Is that what? That I think. Yeah, I think that's what he would say to you. Oh my God! If she would have brought back Darth Vader, Misa back, kind of been like, he is Vader. He's pure evil.
He is. He's pure evil. He did this.
He caused it all.
This.
I get it, but like I can't even
fucking look at him because he's representative of the prequels that shit on me so hard. I'm like, don't even make eye contact with me.
Your next birth, both ears.
No, don't.
If I sent over a singing Jar Jar Binks telegram, I could see you two. The cops would be leading you out of your building, and the shaky cam, been like, these two are going to jail forever for killing a singing telegram.
A Jar Jar Binks impersonator. Yeah, destroyed them.
And I'd just be like this. Oh, that's totally on me.
Yeah, that's your fault. And I would say that you were liable because it is now on a podcast.
Oh,
which
shit.
makes this law.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like, and I should also say to people who dislike it and like it, it's cool either way, or you can sit in the middle. It's like
you're allowed to have an opinion, guys. Here's something the internet doesn't understand.
Unless your opinion is that you like the prequels better than any of the
that's true. Then you
can't have an opinion.
Then you're not allowed to. We can't have nice things.
I'm gonna be a bitch about. I'm so good on everything because, like, I don't like aliens, and we talk about that all the time. Like, I'm easy breezy for everything. I love debating and shit. There is no debating when it comes to those prequels. My body has a physical
You're not allowed
reaction.
to have opinions if you like the prequels more than any of the other series.
Well, here...
I question if you're allowed to be alone. Like, and take care of yourself.
Yes. Laying it down.
Besides that, the internet doesn't seem to realize that people can have opinions that are different from each other's, and it's okay. Yeah. It's okay to think what you want.
So all these stupid top 10 lists of why the prequels are actually better than you think. Like, I've seen these and I've read one. My favorite opinion ever was, it is as good as it could be. And I'm like, what the fuck?
It is as good as it could be because we didn't need them.
No, Google it. I Googled it and gave those assholes a click because when I heard about it from Red Letter Media, I'm like, come on, this has to be a joke because you're a comedy show. I read it. And because that comedy show did that, how many clicks has that gotten? But when I read that first of all, writer... Okay, I'm not a writer, but I've written shit. Yeah. All right, that's the same. But that's a troll. That's a trash monkey. Yeah, and not a good trash monkey.
I am in the business of like journalism and stuff, and like there's no journalism anymore. Any troll was going to write. Yeah, it's just listicles. Literally, the amount of jobs I've had to apply for is a nightmare. But I'm sorry, like even if a child was like, I love the prequels, they're my favorite movie because of these characters, I would be like, you're fucking wrong.
You're an idiot, little kid.
I'm going to be like, oh, hon, you haven't seen another single movie, have you? Well, I can show you any other movie and it'll probably be your favorite.
I would just pat his head and be like, I used to think Howard the Duck was the greatest. I still do. I have problems, and so do you.
Yeah, like that kid's gonna grow up and literally be a sociopath.
Like, I love watching Howard the Duck when I'm older. I'm like, this is so awful, and I love it. Like, but now if a kid grew up later on and was just like, wow, this is pure trash, I'd be like, yeah, but kid, you need to get into good trash.
Yeah. I have an appreciation for trash. The sad thing is those prequels couldn't have even been good trash.
Yeah, they weren't even... Like,
they're boring.
They're boring.
That's the thing I think...
so boring.
That's the thing I say there's a couple good things about Phantom Menace is I think it does tiptoe into good trash a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that there's good parts in the movie. It's that it tiptoes into good trash.
I will say I could roast that one.
Right. Right.
The second one I refuse to make
The second one is just like a nap. The second movie is a nap.
Yeah, I've tried to rewatch that one now twice, and it's just like,
Why
no.
do it to yourself?
No.
Why?
Well, I end up just like smashing on the skip, and then before you know it, one of the things I love to watch is the dinner scene between them where they're quote unquote flirting. I just forgot all their names. Anakin and
Natalie Portman.
Yeah, whatever.
Amidala.
So like when
Why do I know it?
I fucking love how bad this is part of the good trash in that one, I think. And it's you know what? I just found a good part in it because it's so shitty.
Good.
Is when he passes over the pear to her and she like takes the fork and like hits it and it's so clearly terrible. I mean, because those films have for its time, it's beautiful CGI, but that part is god awful.
You are literally speaking nonsense to me. I have no idea what you're talking about, and like it's confirming my stance.
You've seen some of it, and you're just like, nope. I'm taking it and
my
throwing
brain
it away.
is like, no, get out of here.
Some doctor or therapist is going to come over in a couple of days and be like, we need to check if you can take care of yourself. It's like, Ashley!
Oh my god, can you imagine if my word was law?
Yeah. You are Palpatine.
You're allowed to like anything.
guess.
You're allowed to dislike anything. But if you like the prequels, we're checking in on you.
And let's end it with that, because I love it.
It's been 100 hours since we've been talking. So
I don't know, yeah. Who knows?
I could literally talk for 3 more hours
Yeah.
on this movie, or the franchise in general, but we should stop.
All right, thanks for coming. Good luck getting through this, because I don't know how, I don't care. I don't even care. I'm looking at the clock now, and I'm like, yikes. This will probably be our longest ever.
Oh, really?
I don't know. I just said that.
Yeah, it's pretty long.
Yeah. So,
This and Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. But we covered a lot, and we went all over the place. And who cares? It was fun. So thanks for coming on.
Of course.
Yeah, I don't know when we'll have another Star Wars one, but if we don't, we'll just find another franchise for you to hook onto.
I'll just hop on to something else.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
As long as it's not James Bond.
Oh, I would refuse to do that. I don't want to sleep through another.
Yeah, I don't need another
No,
franchise to put us to sleep.
All right, thanks for coming by, and that's it. Say goodbye, guys.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Plug our podcast too.
Oh, sorry.
Because you're here.
Oh yes, that thing. If anybody's interested, Steve has been on one of our episodes.
On the Star Wars episode.
The Star Wars episode, I have a podcast with Matt. It's called the AFI List. We get very stoned and watch the 100 greatest films that were on the AFI list from 1998. And then we get stoned and talk about them. It is a mess and a nightmare, and it's the most wonderful thing in my life. I love it. It's so fun, and I think the Star Wars episode with Steve is so fun.
One of my favorites.
It's one of the earliest ones because it's very high up on the list, as it should be.
Mm-hmm. That was very high.
Yeah, we love getting people high like we haven't been high with or don't partake very often because they say the funniest shit.
It's almost legal now.
It is.
Yeah.
Which we will be celebrating very soon here in Chicago.
Maybe we'll put another episode out.
Shut up. I've been really busy and I'm the only person who edits. As you know, Steve, Matt doesn't do any of the uploading.
It's hard.
Yeah, it's really hard. And
well, we also just haven't even had time to record any either for the longest
when
time.
It's hard when you're doing
Holidays.
a podcast when you're high because you can't get high all the fucking time. No matter how hard we try.
We're bad stoners. We do not get high that often. Like in the stoner realm. We do not get high that often.
It's an ordeal. Like, I mean, what I'm saying is like you got to prepare for the movie. You got to if you got to guess, you got to do that, and then you got to get high, and then you got to watch the movie, then you got to talk about the movie, then you got to edit.
4 hours long.
Yeah.
So then you got to get high multiple times,
and you got to have food.
We've done almost 40 episodes, and I'm like, how do I have any brain cells left? But it's very fun. Go check that out. And I will come back for any movie you'd like.
Oh, we're going to find
Except for a lot of them, probably.
We'll find another franchise.
Yeah.
Or we'll just pick one from the past.
Sure.
That's amazing. I mean, that's what we do. Nostalgia, pretty much.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. We'll be back next week with VHS. I think next week's VHS. Who come back? Just find out.
It'll be there.
We're around. Come back. Bye.
Bye.